Good morning, guys. What is happening? What is going on? What is good? Welcome back to another reaction video. I'm going to talk very loudly because my freaking neighbors are so loud every night. Unbelievable, guys. But yeah, guys, welcome back to another review video. Guys, this is a new series that I'm going to be trialing out. Whether it does well or not, I'm not too sure. So yeah, I just want to give it a shot and see what it's all about, because to be honest, I can't really talk much about the topics that I'm going to be discussing now in my reaction videos, because I try and keep my reaction videos to about 10 minutes to maybe 12, 15 minutes. But if I included all the stuff that I'm going to be talking about now, the video is going to be about 30 minutes long, and no one wants to sit through that, especially me talking. So yeah, I thought I would end up doing a bunch of like reaction videos, then do like a review video and talk about the band as a whole rather than just specific songs. And I feel like Tool would be a perfect band to do a review video on, because I have done pretty much their entire discography apart from their most recent album. And the reason why I haven't done their most recent album yet is because I've been waiting for the perfect time to do the review video. Also because it seems like there has been a 10 or maybe 10 plus year gap between their most recent album now and then the one before it. So I'm pretty sure a lot of things will have changed, but maybe even not. Maybe it's just the same stuff. So yeah, before I get into doing all their entire new discography, I want to do this review video just to kind of sum up what I have gathered from their entire discography prior to their most recent one. And then we'll check out their new stuff further down the line. So yeah, we are currently sitting through this COVID-19 lockdown in the UK, which is why I've been just doing so many review videos. But it just seems like my audience, there are like the Tool fans, then there are the Nightwish fans and the Ginger fans, and they won't watch anything else. So I'm talking to you Tool fans out there who have, you know, in fact, you guys, you Tool fans are the ones that got me to 10K subscribers, I think. So thank you very much. And I'm very sorry I haven't done more Tool reaction videos. But after I did the Tool reaction videos, my freelance career kind of took off and I had to focus on that. But because of the COVID-19 lockdown, I have plenty of time because I have no work. So let's get into this, man. I actually have a list here of things that I'm going to be talking about, because when I did my Ginger review video, I kind of just like really winged it, and I wish I took down some notes, but I think I did pretty all right. So first and foremost, I want to talk about, because I studied audio engineering, I absolutely love everything to do with mixing, engineering, and mastering. So I want to talk about just the mix of the songs and just the mix of the instruments as well. Now, coming from listening to Ginger, where, you know, the mixes were so polished and so absolutely perfect, and it might be due to the fact that their engineers, their mixing engineers, their mastering engineers, their audio engineers are using a lot of digital equipment rather than analog type of equipment. So that's where the polished sound comes from. Whereas with Tool, you have this very old school kind of like, it just sounds like very real instruments, you know, not really DI'd too much, live drums, live guitars, live bass, and then you have obviously the vocals. And obviously that's to do with the fact that a lot of those albums are very, very old. And, you know, new technology didn't really come around, like, for example, Axe Effects and the, you know, the pod guitar amplifiers and, you know, just all those type of like amp simulators that exist now. So that's, I think, why you have this super real type of feel when it comes to the instruments, and I absolutely love that. It gives it a bit more of a raw, a bit of a gritty, and just like a real overall sound to the mix. In terms of mixing, you know, it's very strange. Like it's not a messy sounding mix. It's a very airy mix. And what I mean by that is that you still feel like there's so much space. It doesn't feel like everything has been, you know, it doesn't feel like every space has been like filled out. So you've got the guitars, the drums, the bass, and then the vocals, but it still feels like there's absolutely so much space in that mix for more stuff. And I love that because there's so much separation. It's a beautiful separation, and you can just breathe in the mix. You know, it's very easy to listen to, especially since, you know, every Tool song is like 10 minutes plus. So you're sitting there, you don't want your ears to just be overburdened with noise. You know, there's so much dynamic range in the instruments as well. especially with the drums. 1 minute, you know, it's like a nice little kind of like beat, like a jazzy type beat, and then the next minute it goes a bit more insane, and then it comes back to like a nice chill kind of vibe. And then the drums, the guitars, the vocals, the bass complement each other so well. But every once in a while you'll have that bass kind of going off the beaten path, and it just like it has its own sort of, it does its own thing, and I love that, man. It's all those little kind of all those little bits and pieces that each instrument does, and then it just comes back to, you know, they all come back to meet. It just keeps your ears entertained, it keeps you energized, and it keeps you sort of concentrating, you know, because sometimes you can get lost with the Tool song in the most beautiful way possible. You kind of just feel like you're floating in this cloud, and then, you know, like all of a sudden something will happen in a song and you're like, oh crap, you know, I'm actually like, you know, floating, what the hell? And then it comes back and you're just like more relaxed again. So I love how the mix of the songs and the mixing of the instruments makes you feel like that. That's something special. That's when you know that the performers are actually like super really good musicians, you know what I mean? Because they think about all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think I touched up about this already a little bit in what I was explaining, but once again, with each member of the band, you know, they're extremely talented in their own way, and they're, you know, I feel like they just use their instruments to their full potential. The guitarist doesn't just use his guitar to play guitar parts, you know, he'll do certain things that you're just like, damn, was that from a guitar, or was that from a synth, or what? The bassist, I noticed the bassist so much doing his own little, you know, bass solos. You know, Maynard James Keenan with his voice, it's just, his voice is perfect. Now, I couldn't find, no, in fact, I'll talk about this in a little bit, okay? So, yeah, the story behind the songs. Now, I feel like this is very subjective, but I also feel like with Tool fans out there, we're all kind of alike in the sense that, you know, like, their messages behind the songs, from what I gathered, is very much like, yo, look, there can be another dimension out there. There can be other worlds. There can be, I don't know, man, like, it, you know, there could be like crazy shit happening in this world. It's very woke messages, and I love that because, you know, I personally don't feel like everything that exists is, you know, is straightforward. I feel like there's always a hidden meaning behind it, and I love how I love how they're so into their sort of, I don't want to say conspiracy theories, but I'm trying to think of like the right word to say, but I can't. But I'm just gonna say it in my kind of point of view, and hopefully you guys can understand this and not take offense to it, or, you know, say, dude, you are absolutely talking rubbish. But, you know, I feel like with them, they sort of, you know, in fact, yeah, like James Maynard Keenan, if I'm not mistaken, is a Freemason, right? And then, you know, with Freemasonry, you have this whole like, you know, do they worship Satan? Are they kind of praying to other types of gods or other powers out there that are, you know, just something that we don't know about? And they bring that sort of spiritual vibe into the songs, and that sort of like just like what is happening right now, what exists, what doesn't exist. They bring those feelings into the songs, and you just feel like you're taken down this spiritual path in a song, and you just feel like you want to do a lot more research. I know that when I was listening to Tool songs, the amount of research I did on specific characters that they mention in the songs, specific, you know, powers that they mention in the songs, and just like the amount of wokeness that they seem to have, I do so much research on that, and I learn a lot too. And that's something that I love. When you come out of a song, when you come out of listening to a song and you want to go and do research on like a specific topic that they're talking about, and it takes you just down this rabbit hole, that is an experience, man. That is a musical experience that I long so much for, which I don't get in hip-hop, because hip-hop, it's very much just like the same topics, the same nonsense topics. And, you know, the only reason why I love hip-hop is just because the beats and just like the dark sort of vibes. But apart from that, lyrical content-wise, utter nonsense. Which is why I really love listening to metal, because the topics that metal musicians talk about is just like second to none for me. And with James Maynard Keenan's writing abilities, I honestly, dude, it's a poem, it's a story, it's a book, you know? And every single song is a new book, it's a new story, it's a new journey. And goddamn, man, like the amount of euphoria you feel from experiencing something like that. I'm trying to get my girlfriend to listen to Tool songs, but because they're so long, it kind of puts her off. But I know and I don't know, she's not as like insane as I am, in the sense that, like, I don't know, I feel like the Illuminati exists. I feel like, you know, like black magic, and I feel like, you know, higher, like the elite worship Satan in order to get things done. I believe in all that kind of stuff, and for me it just makes music like this so much more exciting, because I'm like, damn, maybe this does exist because they talk about it, and then I go and do my research, and my day just turns into like a research day, you know? So for me, like, having come out of a Tool song, experiencing something like that, and then doing further investigative research, it's, yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. You can tell that I'm getting super excited because I just remember the days when I used to do that. So yeah, the length of the songs I want to talk about, guys, you have to remember something. I listen to Lil Pump. I listen to Smoke Perp. You know, I listen to all these artists whose songs are like 1 minute to 1 minute 20 seconds long. So going from that to then coming to a band where, you know, the average song length is about 10 minutes long, it's, you know, it took a bit of getting used to, but I got used to it very quickly. By the way, I'm fasting because it's Ramadan. Happy Ramadan. So my mouth is getting very, very dry, and that's very bad for me to do because I can't even drink water until like 8 o'clock at night. So I'm going to kind of calm down with my talking because I'm getting... But yeah, their length of songs, super, super long, dude. And at first it put me off because I'm like, damn, dude, I'm going to be sitting 10 minutes just listening to a song, let alone talking about the lyrics and everything. But dude, it, you know, summing it up, dude, it just adds to that journey. You know, you're sitting there, you're listening, and then I end up zoning out, and I don't know where the hell I am, but I feel like I'm on drugs. I don't even take drugs, but I feel like I'm on drugs, man, like shrooms or weed or something like that, because I just get lost. I zone out, and I end up listening to the song, and I'm creating my own imagery, you know, while the song is playing. And that is something that it's just, you know, it's impossible to, it's like reading a book. I don't even read too many books, but I remember reading Scar Tissue by Anthony Kiedis, and I remember reading that book, and I think that's the only one I read throughout the entire thing. And I ended up just creating my own characters and my own world, and, you know, it just takes you into this new universe, this new world, this dream that you're making up. And that's a trip, dude. That's an absolute trip. So I feel like their length of songs being that long, you get taken into this journey, which, you know, is a 10-minute journey, a 10-minute high, a 10-minute euphoria. And once again, it's an experience. And I think you're gonna hear me mention that word quite a lot. This, you know, Tool is an experience. It's a journey, because it really is, dude. It's not just listening to music. It's a vibe, you know. It's taking you down this journey. And yeah, man, it's like a spiritual journey, you know what I'm saying? So next up, guys, oh my god, this phone is so annoying, bro. Like, if I have a bit of sweat on my finger, it doesn't recognize my finger, bro. Okay, cool. So yeah, one thing that I've noticed with Tool, I tried to find a lot of live content, and I couldn't really find any. Like, it seems like not many people record their live shows, and that could be because maybe they just don't allow people recording from phones and stuff. One of my best friends, now I remember this very well, and it only hit me the other day actually. When we were in school, he did like a summer school thing in Boston, Massachusetts. He was doing like a summer school in Harvard. And he came back and he said to me, he would, like, at this time we were really into the Illuminati, you know, and Freemasonry and all, you know, the one eye kind of thing. So he came back and he said to me, he's like, I went to watch a rock band called Tool. And he was like, Omar, and I remember this so well, man. He was like, Omar, if you saw what they were doing live, there's so many like Illuminati subliminal messages going on. And I was like, cool. And it only hit me now because I thought about the live stuff. And because I told him, I was like, did you take any pictures? He's like, no, we weren't allowed to take our phones out. So that could be a reason why, you know, why there's not many live videos. But I would love to watch like a proper professional recorded live show of theirs, because I'd love to see what they are like live together, you know, as like a unit, because you're listening to their songs, but you can't see what they're all like on stage. You know, are they all feeding off of each other? Are they all feeding off their energy to each other? Are they giving off that energy to each other? You know, is each member kind of using the other member to just perform super well? Or how does it work? I don't know, maybe some of you guys have seen them live, you can kind of further analyze that. But because they're so good, and you can, you know, in the songs you can just hear how they all complement each other. It's like their instruments are, you know, having a conversation with each other, and I just would love to see if that's the case live as well. So yeah, I don't know with that, but you know, you can tell from just listening to the songs, each instrument just complements each other, and it just helps with making the song even better. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know, like, yeah, they're doing really, really well. One thing that I sort of noticed is that in the songs, they don't have many solos. And what I mean by that is that you don't hear many guitar solos like like that. You don't hear many drum solos, you don't hear many bass solos. What I noticed though is that whenever they do solos, it's when, you know, there's like a normal verse or like a normal chorus. And I absolutely love that, because they feel like they don't need some and it could be just because their songs are so long, there's no specific verse, chorus, middle, end. So they don't feel like they have to create an entire section for this crazy guitar solo, you know? And that's one thing that I love, because I feel like with a lot of bands that I've listened to, they've had to do that in order to just make the song a bit more interesting. Whereas with Tool, it's not necessary. It's not necessary whatsoever. So, you know, I feel like with Tool, they have this whole like less is more. Well, I say less is more, but their songs are 10 minutes long. But in terms of adding stuff in, less is more. You know, it's simple guitar, bass, drums, vocals. And they know how to make their instruments so interesting that there is no need to add anything else more to that. You know? But guys, that is it from me. I hope what I said made sense. That is just my personal opinion. Let me know down below what else you guys think is interesting about Tool, and I'd love to read about it. But in the meantime, guys, thank you very much for watching this review video. Have a nice day. Good to see you again. Peace. Subscribe, like, all that kind of stuff. Bye-bye.